Welcome to the Agile Career Podcast, where we will take you on the journey from employed for life to employable for life. We'll give you the tips, insights, and strategies to help you build the transferable skills that you'll need. So let's get started. Please welcome your host, Gunther Richter.
Hello listeners and welcome to the Agile Career Podcast. This is episode 5 of season 2. You may have been wondering where I've been. I understand it's been a bit of radio silence over the last few weeks, or podcast silence, so my apologies for that. I wanted to jump on air today and just get up to date with everyone and kind of let you know what's been going on. So the episode today is going to be a slightly different format in that we're not going to have a guest on, but I'm going to talk you through some of the things I've been doing in and around the podcast, and also an exciting thing that's coming up. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be covering that off in a few minutes. So what have I been working on? What's been taking my time? Well, I've been running a lot of one-on-one mentoring and coaching sessions where I've been helping individuals with their careers, with some of their leadership challenges, and with small business challenges. I've been exploring a whole lot of new things. I've been looking at a whole movement around no code, which is effectively a philosophy and a set of tools to build out applications with not having to code. So based on that, I'll be launching a product coming up soon. It's getting close to launch now. It is a change management toolkit that's aimed at change managers and project managers to help them land projects more successfully. And it deals with the softer side of things like learning and development and communications and those sorts of things. So you can find out more about it if you visit changemanager.tools. I'll put the link up in the show notes so you can go and have a look. Let me know what you think. I've also been looking at the way I'm going to be shaping up the podcast. So, for example, been looking at sponsors for the Agile Career Podcast, which has been a kind of interesting journey looking at what's out there. And then, of course, the big announcement, which is the real reason I'm on air today, is to share that we're going to be doing something new on the podcast coming up soon. Not actually on the podcast. So you'll recall at the end of last season, or the start of this season, I spoke about the new things that I was doing. And what I am going to be doing is launching a weekly clubhouse based on the Agile Career Podcast. And this is going to be happening every week. But again, just to, I guess, give you some context, many of you will probably have heard of Clubhouse. It's a new up-and-coming platform. And it's obviously something that's landed really well during the pandemic. It's a great platform where people can go and exchange ideas and learn. It's not video-based, it's audio-based. So go and check it out. I'll put the show notes in. I'll put the link in the show notes as well so you can find out more about Clubhouse. But what I'm going to be doing is running a live session every single Friday on Clubhouse. And it is essentially a live version of the podcast. And we'll be talking about all things career, where you can come and ask questions, and more importantly, you can share your experiences with others, and of course, ask questions about that and exchange ideas and experiences. So I'm really excited about that. I will put more details in the show notes as well, and I'll be sending out some reminders when we get closer to the time. So, as I said, it's going to be going live every Friday. It's going to be at 6 p.m. GMT. So that's 6 p.m. London time, which translates to 1 o'clock p.m. For Eastern Standard Time, and 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time for my US listeners, and a little bit later in the evening, 11:30 in the evening Indian Standard Time. So I'm really sorry to any listeners in Oceania. It's going to be very late or very early for you. But of course, if there is a demand, I will start a second session to cater for your time zone more specifically. So really, I guess to cover off Australia and New Zealand. So as I said, we'll be talking all things career, and you can ask questions, you can exchange ideas and experiences. So I'm looking really forward to it. I'd love to see you, as many of you there as possible. At the moment, Clubhouse is, I think, by invitation only. So I do have a limited amount of invitations to share. If you are waiting in line and you've registered, just let me know, and I can share an invitation with a limited amount of listeners. The other challenge is that it's only available on iOS at the moment. So I guess coming to other platforms soon. So, of course, moving forward on the podcast, we'll continue to host great guests as we have been doing, so none of that's going to change. All we're really doing is offering some kind of new ways to interact with the podcast. I'll be lining up those guests and getting those episodes scheduled in. But in the meantime, I really wanted to remind you of the great back catalogue of episodes that we've got. Some of you will have been with the podcast from the start. It's going on a year now almost. I guess some of you may have joined and listened to more recent episodes. But just to remind you of some of the more popular ones that are out there and the ones that do get loads of downloads. I mean, they all get downloads, but there's a few that tend to be the favorites. And those are Understanding Yourself with Jessica Parbis, where Jess talks about her development and how she really focused on understanding herself when it came to shaping her career. The other episode that I want to mention is What It Takes to Succeed in Sales with Doug McGeechy. And Doug talks a lot about the tools and techniques and the lessons he's learned in developing a very successful career in sales. Going Solo with Peter Robinson, where he talks about his move from a very established career at Specsavers, going off on his own and starting his own consultancy. His mindset around that and the sort of skills he had to build up. The other one is Developing a Growth Mindset with Crystal Metcalf, and Crystal talks about continuous learning and having that growth set around establishing and growing your skills and using that throughout your career. And then, of course, more recently, the episode around professional rugby player to medical doctor with Tom Rees, ex-England and London Wasps rugby player, where he talks about an injury that ended his rugby career and how he dealt with it and how he ended up in an alternative career, being a medical doctor with the NHS. So that's it for me. That's it from me for now. So a very short one today. Just a reminder, Clubhouse, 6 o'clock on Friday evening, every Friday evening. That's 6 o'clock London time, GMT. We'll be talking careers, everything careers, hopefully exchanging loads of ideas and experiences. So I really look forward to talking to you live and talking with you live on Friday evening. This is going to be quite exciting because, of course, in a podcast, you can't really talk back. So this is going to be much more of a dialogue, and I really look forward to it. In the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and talk to you on Friday evening. Bye-bye now.